Hey everyone, Paul Helensky here, and listen, I know what you're thinking, VA disability claims, paperwork out the wazoo, where do you even start? It can feel like you're lost in a sea of forms, deadlines, and regulations. Believe me, I get it. But here's the good news. You don't have to navigate this alone. I'm here to be your wingman, your battle buddy, your guide through this whole process. We're going to break it down step by step, from gathering your evidence to understanding your rating decision. And don't worry, we're not just skimming the surface here. We'll dive into the nitty-gritty, share some insider tips I've learned along the way, and hopefully, just hopefully, make this whole thing a little less daunting. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's tackle this together. Alright folks, first things first, evidence. This is the foundation of your claim, the building blocks that will support everything else. Think of it like this. You wouldn't go to court without proof, right? Same goes for your VA claim. Now when we talk about evidence, we're talking about anything that shows what happened during your service, and how it connects to your current condition. First and foremost, you need those medical records. And not just any medical records, we're talking about the ones that clearly show your diagnosis. Next up, service records. These are crucial for proving that the incident or exposure that caused your condition actually happened while you were serving our country. You put in the time, now let's make sure it's documented. Now, here's where things get really important. The Nexus Letter. Think of this as the bridge between your service and your condition. It's a statement from a medical professional, a doctor, a therapist, someone who knows their stuff, that directly links your current diagnosis to something that happened during your time in service. This letter is like gold, my friends, pure gold. It provides that official medical backing that your condition is service-connected. The VA puts a lot of weight on these letters, so don't underestimate their importance. Pro tip time. The stronger your evidence game is right out of the gate, the smoother and faster your claim process is likely to be. It's all about connecting the dots for the VA, showing them a clear picture of your situation. So, gather everything you can, medical records, service records, buddy statements if you have them, and make sure that Nexus Letter is rock solid. Trust me, putting in the effort up front will pay off in the long run. Okay, now that we've got our evidence squared away, it's time to enter the digital age, my friends. We're talking about va.gov and ebenefits.va.gov, your new best friends in this whole process. These websites are going to be your command centers, the places where you can submit your claim, track its progress, and upload all that important evidence we just talked about. Think of it like online banking, but instead of managing your finances, you're taking charge of your health and well-being. First things first, if you haven't already, you'll need to create an account on either site. It's a pretty straightforward process, but if you hit any snags, don't hesitate to reach out to the VA or a veteran service officer. They're there to help. Once you're logged in, take some time to familiarize yourself with the layout. It might seem a little overwhelming at first, but I promise it's all designed to be user-friendly. You'll be able to access all sorts of resources, from information about different benefits to direct links for filing your claim. And here's a pro tip from yours truly. Make sure your contact information is always up to date in your account. The VA will use this information to get in touch with you about your claim, so you don't want to miss any important updates or requests for additional information. Seriously folks, these websites are game changers. They put you in the driver's seat, giving you the power to manage your claim and stay informed every step of the way. So, embrace the digital age and make va.gov and eBenefits your go-to resources. Alright folks, now we're getting to the heart of it. VA Form 21-526EZ. This is the big one, the official form for applying for disability compensation. Now I know forms can be about as much fun as a root canal, but trust me on this one, we're going to get through it together. First off, you've got options. You can choose to fill out the form online through va.gov, which I highly recommend. It's super convenient. Or if you're more of a pen and paper person, you can print out the form and mail it in. Either way, the key here is accuracy and clarity. The VA needs to understand exactly what conditions you're claiming and how they're connected to your service. For each condition you list, be sure to include the diagnosis, when it first started, and how it relates to your time in the military. And here's a pro tip to make your claim stand out. Use plain language. Avoid technical jargon or medical terms that only a doctor could understand. Remember, the folks reviewing your claim aren't always medical experts. If it hurts, say it hurts. If it impacts your daily life, describe it in detail. Don't sugarcoat anything. The more clearly and honestly you describe your condition, the better the VA can understand how it affects you. Remember, this form is your chance to tell your story, to connect the dots between your service and your current health. So, be thorough, be honest, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Congratulations! You've filled out the forms, gathered your evidence, and hit that submit button, or dropped it in the mailbox. Take a deep breath, you've officially entered the waiting game. Now, I know, patience isn't always a soldier's strongest suit. Believe me, I've been there, but trust me, it's key in this next phase. Once your claim is submitted, you'll receive a confirmation either by email or through the mail. This is the VA's way of saying, we got your back, we're on it. From there, the VA gets to work reviewing your claim, and this is where those websites we talked about earlier come in handy. va.gov and eBenefits allow you to track the progress of your claim online 24/7. You'll be able to see when it moves to a new stage, if any additional information is needed, and eventually the decision. Now, I won't sugarcoat it, this process can take time, but here's a pro tip to keep in mind. Be responsive. The VA might reach out for more information, clarification, or additional documentation. Respond to these requests as quickly as possible. The faster you provide what they need, the smoother the process will be. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay informed, stay organized, and most importantly, stay patient. Your service and sacrifice deserve to be recognized, and the VA is committed to getting it right. All right, folks, let's talk about the compensation and pension exam, more commonly known as the C&P exam. This is a crucial step in the VA disability claim process, and for many veterans, it can feel a little nerve-wracking. But don't worry, I'm here to tell you, it's not an interrogation. Think of it more like a conversation with a medical professional who's there to gather information about your condition. The VA uses these exams to verify the information you provided in your claim and to get a clearer picture of how your condition affects your daily life. Now here's the thing, preparation is key. Before you go to your exam, make a list of your symptoms, how often they occur, and how they impact your ability to work, socialize, or do the things you enjoy. If you have specific examples or stories that illustrate your condition, jot those down too. And here's a pro tip from a fellow veteran. Avoid downplaying your symptoms. I know it's tempting to put on a brave face and say, oh, I'm fine, but this is not the time to be stoic. The examiner needs to understand the full extent of your condition, so be honest and straightforward about how it affects you. This exam is your opportunity to have your voice heard, to connect the dots between your service and your current health in a direct and personal way. So, be prepared, be honest, and most importantly, be yourself. Okay, folks, the moment of truth has arrived, the decision letter. After your C&P exam, the VA carefully reviews all the evidence, medical records, and examiner's reports to make a decision on your claim. You'll receive this decision in writing, both by mail and through your online account. Now take a deep breath because this letter contains a lot of important information. First and foremost, it will tell you whether your claim has been approved, denied, or if they need more information to make a decision. If your claim is approved, congrats. The letter will outline your disability rating, which is a percentage based on the severity of your condition and its impact on your life. This rating determines the amount of monthly compensation you'll receive from the VA. The letter will also include an effective date, which is when your benefits will start, and if applicable, information about any back pay you may be owed. Now I know this can seem confusing, so let's break it down a bit. Your disability rating is a big deal. It's not just a random number. It reflects how much your condition affects your ability to function in everyday life. The higher the rating, the more significant the impact, and the higher your monthly compensation. The effective date is also crucial. It determines when you start receiving those benefits, and sometimes it might go back to the date you initially filed your claim, meaning you could be eligible for back pay. Alright folks, let's address the elephant in the room. What happens if your claim is denied or you receive a rating lower than you expected? First and foremost, don't panic. It's not uncommon to face setbacks in the VA disability claim process, but it's important to remember that you have options, and you don't have to go through this alone. If your claim is denied, the decision letter will explain the reasons why. It might be that the VA needs additional evidence, there were inconsistencies in your medical records, or they didn't find enough support for a service connection. Now, if you believe the decision was made in error or you have new evidence to present, you have the right to appeal. This is where things can get a little tricky, but that's why it's crucial to have a veteran service officer, or VSO, in your corner. A VSO is like a seasoned guide through the often confusing world of VA claims and appeals. They know the ins and outs of the system, can help you gather the right evidence, and will fight for your rights every step of the way. Remember, the VA disability claim process can be a long and winding road, but you don't have to navigate it alone. So, there you have it, folks. The ins and outs of navigating the VA disability claim process. It can seem overwhelming at times, but remember, you've faced tougher battles. The key takeaways here: be honest, be thorough, and don't be afraid to ask for help. A veteran service officer can be an invaluable resource throughout this process, providing guidance, support, and advocating for your rights every step of the way. Remember, you served our country with honor and courage, and now it's time to make sure you're taken care of. Here's the bottom line: be honest, be thorough, and don't go it alone. Use a VSO, follow up on every step, and advocate for yourself. If this helped you, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your experience, and thank you for your service.